Today's video is a story about a player who obviously never listened to one of the greatest songs of all time. Palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, his vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti, he's nervous. Pretty sure 99.9% of people watching this video know that song is Eminem's Lose Yourself, and essentially the song is about the journey that you go on through life to get to one opportunity, and when you get that opportunity, can you capture it or just let it slip? So that's the focus of this video. That's what I want you to take away from this thing. You gotta take advantage of your opportunities when they come, or you can end up like this player that we're about to talk about. So yesterday I tweeted out, I said that I was gonna be doing a video on a former LSU quarterback, but it was not who you thought. Some people guessed Jordan Jefferson. Some people still guessed Jamarcus Russell, even though I said it wasn't who you thought. By the way, Jamarcus Russell definitely coming this week. Sorry, next week. Jordan Jefferson may also be down the pipeline. He's got a pretty interesting story from what I know of it as well. I actually have a kind of funny in real life story involving Jamarcus Russell, so I'll include that in his video when I do it later this week. Next week. Why do I keep saying? So if you want to see that, make sure you click and thumbs up on this video. Today we're actually talking about Jamarcus Russell's backup at LSU, Matt Flynn. Now, you might remember Matt Flynn as the guy who got his spot taken by a then too short rookie quarterback, Russell Wilson. But if you go down a rabbit hole of Matt Flynn's career, you see the same patterns take place. The same thing that took place with Russell Wilson, you see that follow Matt throughout his career. He's a guy who never was truly able to take advantage of the opportunities that presented to him. Like, if I was a rookie quarterback, I couldn't imagine a better veteran to be on the depth chart in front of me. I'm calling everybody, yo, tell them I'm starting. But ESPN say you the backup. Trust me, come regular season, I'm starting. Now, what I want to do here first is show Matt Flynn some love. I mean, hell, he deserves credit. He won 2 national championships at LSU, although the first one he was a red shirt, so he didn't play, but yo, he got a ring. And then he won another as a 5th-year senior where he was the starting quarterback. Then he was a 7th round pick, but he still managed to stick around in the league from 2008 to 2015. And it's very easy for a 7th round pick quarterback to be out of the league with the quickness. Like, every late round pick doesn't turn into Tom Brady. This is not the natural order of things. He also won a Super Bowl, even though he was the backup. I mean, but this man got jury, bro. But scratch all that, forget all that. The craziest thing he did, which basically set off the whole chain of events that led to him getting Russell Wilson in the first place, playing for the Green Bay Packers, a team that's had all-time great quarterbacks, man. Bart Starr, Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. In 2012, Matt Flynn set the all-time Packers record for touchdowns in a game with 6. He also set a record for the most passing yards in a game with 480. Matt Flynn. And this is what started the whole Matt Flynn saga. But before that, he had only started one other regular season game, and he had a decent showing depending on who you ask. He threw for 251 yards and 3 touchdowns. Only 1 interception. Although Packers fans might remember the pick he threw was a second half pick 6, and then he also fumbled late in that game that basically sealed the Packers' fate, and they lost 31-27. So he had that game, and he had the record-setting game. At this point, the 7-9 Seahawks needed a quarterback, and they shelled out a $26 million contract for the record-setting Matt Flynn. I mean, hell, Flynn was waiting in the wings behind Aaron Rodgers, just like Aaron Rodgers had waited in the wings behind Brett Favre. So the Seahawks figure, hell, Aaron Rodgers ain't going nowhere no time soon. I mean, hell, he's still in the league today being Aaron Rodgers. So they figured, yo, we could swoop in and get the next Aaron Rodgers, potentially. Easy work. So desperate for a winning record, they took a chance and went and got Matt Flynn. Gave him a $26 million contract, and that was that. Then they drafted Russell Wilson in the 3rd round of the 2013 draft. Now, Wilson was essentially coming in to be Flynn's backup, and the Seahawks actually got blasted for this pick. The whole draft really got blasted. Mel Kiper gave him a C-, and he said something to the effect of, "Why draft Russell Wilson when you got Matt Flynn?" Now, we all know how this turned out at this point. Russell Wilson beat out Matt Flynn in the preseason, even though people say it doesn't matter. Then he went on to win Rookie of the Year, won a Super Bowl, came one terrible play call away from winning another Super Bowl, bagged Ciara, the list goes on. Now he Russell goddamn Wilson. And our boy, he just Matt goddamn Flynn. You see the difference? So while Russell Wilson became all of that, Flynn became one of the highest paid backups in the league. Now Flynn had his opportunity in that preseason to basically cement his legacy, become the quarterback of that team whose claim to fame was defense and running the ball, and he could have been Matt goddamn Flynn, but he couldn't do it, bro. He could not win the job, and that was his one shot. But unlike a lot of people, Flynn got another opportunity. Because he lost his spot in the preseason, people still hadn't really seen a ton of him. And a lot of people could not get that one Green Bay performance out of their head. So bam, Oakland Raiders to the rescue. Sorry Raiders fans, but y'all rescued us before too. I'm a Bengals fan, as you can see. Thanks for taking Carson Palmer. He had effectively retired. So they traded a 4th round pick for Flynn. And again, he was expected to start. So then he goes to Oakland. Now, mind you, this is a year before the Raiders draft Derek Carr. And had Matt Flynn played better, they might not even drafted Derek Carr. You see how it works? You see how the cause and effect, the chain? You see how that works? But anyway, 2013 lost his spot to a guy who is still in the NFL, but doesn't even play the quarterback position anymore. He lost a quarterback battle to a guy who had to change his position just to stay in the league. Now, I'm not trying to on Terrell Pryor. I dig Terrell Pryor, bro. He's a beast at receiver. He had some NFL moments at quarterback. But the fact remains that he got traded, then he got released, then he went to another team, got released, and then he changed his position, and now, he's a beast at receiver, which is dope and probably deserves his own video. But to think that a guy who had to switch from the quarterback position beat out Matt Flynn for the starting job at the Raiders, that just sums it up right there. But that's not it. It's not over. Later that same year, the Bills brought him in after E.J. Manuel went down. Another rookie, coincidentally this time. Now the Bills had called Thad Lewis up from the practice squad, and Matt Flynn could not even lose himself in the moment to take Thad Lewis's spot. He had just come up from the practice squad, bro. Think about it. Flynn is a guy who had just, like a year earlier, gotten a $26 million contract to be the starting quarterback. Then another team traded a 4th round pick for him to be their starting quarterback. Now, in that same calendar year, same season also, he can't even supplant a guy who was just on practice squad. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he was 3rd string behind Thad Lewis and Jeff Toole, who was an undrafted rookie. And just like that, after not seizing either of his 2 major opportunities, and this was actually another opportunity, but just after not seizing those 2 opportunities, we see what his career devolved into. Now you might look at it and say, yo, Flem, he was a 7th round pick anyway. True. And if you look at his career for a 7th round pick, it's not really that bad. But the point is, he had the opportunity to be so much more. But because he was unable to take advantage of the opportunities that were presented to him, other guys rose up in those spots and took his spot, his job, better yet, his legacy. The whole point of this video is, don't let it happen to you. When your opportunity presents itself, recognize it, take advantage of it. Because if not, you could easily be forgotten. Just like my man, what was his name? Yeah,